think it's very easy when the cameras are turned off for people to who are very vocal in the beginning and like, posting squares and talking about Black Lives Matter to forget that it's not a one-time thing. It's not a one-time movement. Hi, I'm Rika Ashoba. I'm the founder and CEO of Launchmark. Launchmark came from this idea of supporting your community and supporting local communities of color, especially local businesses of color. At the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of businesses were shutting down. A lot of businesses were going under. And I had noticed that there was a discrepancy between the faces that we were seeing as the hardest hit of COVID and the Black and brown businesses that were actually the hardest hit by COVID. They closed down at record rates, higher than any other group. So initially, I wanted to offer my services as a marketing strategist to see how I could help. I started initially posting on my social media page, Instagram, Facebook, letting people know that these businesses were open, that they had curbside, that they had all these different things. And when I started talking to these businesses, getting to know them more one-on-one, I started to realize that there were deeper issues as far as access to a larger audience, publicity, just overall, just being able to let people know that being a Black or brown owned business, and in some cases even a woman owned business, that they are not just viable, but a really great option, and should be part of our shopping experience. We shouldn't, isolate them because they're a Black business or a minority owned business. And so I wanted to try to find a way to bring more visibility to those businesses so that everybody could support them in a way that they needed to be supported. And so that's where Launchmark came from. So I think that there are, so I can only speak from my experience and the experience of the businesses that I have been able to get to know, some incredible businesses in the Triangle. And I think that there is a stark difference between what was before the Black Lives Matter movement became so incredibly visible that you couldn't ignore it, and the marches and all of that, and what happened after. I think that there's a lot of people that recognize and realize that they weren't being as supportive of Black-owned businesses in their community, and that there were a lot of Black-owned businesses that they now have the opportunity to discover, to support, to reach out to. And this kind of goes even with other businesses that are not Black owned, figuring out how to diversify things like their supply chain, being able to find like local Black farmers, being able to find local manufacturers or supply chains that are either, Black run, or maybe there's a part owner. So just kind of being more cognizant and being more aware of who they're doing business with. I think that has definitely become more of a front and center thing for a lot of people in the community and a lot of businesses in the community. With Launchmark in particular, I have seen a lot of really great support from a lot of local businesses who businesses that are not Black-owned businesses that are really excited about the fact that there's a platform that is going to be able to elevate these businesses, and a lot of Black-owned businesses that feel like, that I'm creating something that allows people to see them and not see them as just another Black business, but a business that creates incredible products, that has an incredible history behind it, and is doing really great things for the community. So with that said, I also think that there is a lot that needs to be done. I think that last summer was just tiny stepping stone, and I think that people need to not let that go. I think it's very easy when the cameras are turned off for people to who are very vocal in the beginning, and like, you know, posting squares and talking about Black Lives Matter, to forget that it's not a one-time thing. It's not a one-time movement. It's a consistent um, it's consistent, and it means that you constantly have to be checking yourself. How am I supporting Black businesses? How am I helping promote Black businesses? What can I do to get other people to support Black-owned businesses? And so I think it's really important that people don't forget that just because the cameras are off, just because we're not in the summer of 2020 again, that Black businesses don't need your support. They absolutely still need your support, and that's the only way we're really going to be able to change anything, is to continuously find ways to improve how we treat Black-owned businesses in our communities. So most shoppers have been transitioning to online purchasing habits. Most people expect to be able to purchase things online. Most people, at least once a week, will purchase an item online. Most people expect to be able to have things shipped to them. So society as a whole has been kind of shifting towards a more online e-commerce society. COVID just accelerated what would have happened in about 5 to 10 years. It accelerated within a year, and we're still in. I mean, we're still in the midst of COVID, so you know, who knows how much quicker it's going to make that transition happen. But most people who are now migrating online and who are moving online are expecting local companies, local companies, local businesses to be able to cater to their needs online. And what I'm found, like based off of my research and what I have found, a large majority of local small to medium sized businesses don't really have an online strategy. They've never really dealt in the area of e-commerce. They don't really understand how to find their audience online, how to market to their audience online. They may have been a brick and mortar store and they don't quite understand, what the best way to kind of navigate this new world of e-commerce and online shopping. And so Launchmark, which was born out of the pandemic. So that's kind of the unique experience that I have, is that there wasn't really a before and after for me with COVID. It's more like there's a during COVID and there's a new normal kind of COVID, where, how does this business operate in the new normal when things kind of go back to normal, but not completely. And one of the things that I have recognized with Launchmark is that Launchmark serves as a platform to help bridge and connect Black and Brown minority-owned, women-owned businesses in Raleigh and Durham in particular, with consumers that are most likely to purchase their products, who are most likely to become brand advocates, brand cheerleaders, supporters of these local businesses. I like to call them local adventurers, wanderers, and discoverers, because they're the ones who typically have their pulse on what's happening in the Triangle, and the products and the businesses that are in the Triangle. And so because of the nature of Launchmark and Launchmark, its focus as being an online platform for these businesses, we've actually seen a lot of businesses uh, really get excited about what Launchmark is and what it will become, because it provides that space for businesses who aren't familiar with the online e-commerce, online marketing world to get on a platform and not only connect with local people who, are coffee lovers or tea lovers or dessert lovers, but it also allows them to get really great marketing data that they can use to help them um, understand their audience and to create really great products. And it just saves them the time of having to find the audience themselves and then having to test the audience themselves and having to figure out how to pull out data insights and then how to apply it to their business. So COVID in a way has been really great for Launchmark in that it has been able to show it's been able to provide us a way or a different way for businesses to connect with their future brand advocates, and just in a new way. Two things. I think one of the best things one of the best things that the community at large can do is obviously support Black-owned businesses. Um, and support doesn't mean just talking about them on social. It means backing that up with your wallet. It means investing in these businesses. It means finding ways that you can contribute. It's not abnormal in any way, shape, or form for people to do fundraisers. It's Black History Month, being able to do collective fundraisers with other Black-owned businesses to see how we can support and support these businesses. So the biggest thing you can do is back action with your wallet. For Launchmark in particular, like I had said before, our goal is to be able to create homegrown success stories, and stories of Black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses that can grow beyond the four walls of their city if that's what they want to do, to tap into other markets, whether that's Charlotte or Asheville or Greensboro or whatever that is. And so for us, we are always looking for consumers that are interested in testing products. We have these virtual test sessions that we're using to test Launchmark and testing this idea. And so we open it up. We have a wait list, and every month or so we have 5 really great local businesses, either Black owned or Black or brown owned, minority owned, women owned businesses that come on the platform and they talk about their story and they talk about who they are and they talk about their product. And one of the best things that we could see is being able to put people in front of these businesses and kind of build their base of support, build their future customers. So for us, getting on our wait list, supporting these businesses, participating in our focus groups to give these businesses feedback so they can create really amazing products for you, for me, for everyone in the community. And then amplifying, talking about them on social media, talking to your friends and family about them so that they can go and support them. Again, put their wallet behind their action and their words. So the cool thing about Launchmark is that I get the opportunity to work with some awesome, dope, rock and roll, like just super cool businesses that are, women and minority owned businesses. And I get to learn about their stories and some of their peaks and valleys, highs and lows, I guess I can say. And just kind of how they got to where they got to. And it's super inspiring. It motivates me all the time to kind of keep moving. So in our last session, we worked with 5 companies. We worked with a amazing company called Onboard Charcuterie, which is a Black and woman-owned business. We worked with Boxcar Handmade Cheeses, which is a brother-sister duo, and they are also, it's a partly woman-owned business. Very, very, very cool business as well. We also worked with a woman-owned business called Envision. I think it was called Envision Pastries, and she is a great baker, also a woman-owned business. We worked with a tea company called Jasper and Gold, and the man behind it is extremely entrepreneurial, and I still keep in touch with him. We're always kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, and he makes really phenomenal teas. And then the final business is a friend of mine. She started it's called 118 Company. She started a organic line of hand cleansing sprays that are organic. They are locally made. All their products and essential oils are organic, and it's a really great product. This round, we actually have a session coming up on Saturday, February 20th, and working with a bunch of, I like to call them OGs. They've been in the triangle for a while. People know about most of these companies. Royal Cheesecake and Variety. It is a Black-owned husband and wife baking team. They are the dopest people ever. I love talking to them anytime I talk to them. We are also working with a woman-owned vegan juice bar. Also very cool, someone who's very into holistic health. Also an amazing person I've been able to talk to. We're working with Lizzie's Apples, which is a dessert. It's a woman-owned dessert candy apple company. And we're also working with Candy Cakes, and she is also woman-owned. And her cakes are gorgeous. They're beautiful. And so I'm really excited. Lizzie's Apples also, like, gorgeous apples. Like, you see them and I'm just like, I want to like have all of them just to put them in a case and like just stare at them. And then last but not least, we are working with a woman who, it's a woman-owned business. She owns a bakery, a very well-known bakery. Sorry, my brain just kind of like went in a cycle. She owns a bakery that's local to the Triangle area, but and maybe people know her for her cakes, but she's actually going to be launching this product line. I think she's actually already launched it. She's just kind of working on building an audience around it, called Aura Teas. And it's a woman-owned business ran by, I think the name of the brand is With Love, Trista. And I'm a huge tea drinker. You're a tea drinker. And so I'm really excited. The teas look gorgeous. I definitely just could probably drink 1,000 cups and be super happy. So yeah, I mean, we've got really great companies. We've got quite a few waitlisted for March and April. We're only doing 5 of these sessions total in the beginning, just to test. So if if people want to get on one of these sessions, they probably want to make sure they get on our wait list sooner rather than later. So I think what I've learned about running a business is that it is a lot harder than you think it will be. But it is probably 10 times more rewarding when you start hitting those milestones and you start seeing kind of the excitement that the people you're trying to serve have towards what you're building. And I don't think anything really can capture the vote of confidence and the support that I've gotten from a lot of the businesses that I've been able to work with. So I'd probably say, yeah, business is a lot harder than you think it is. My dad always tells me that. My dad's also a business owner. Him and my mom both work in a consulting firm, and he's always telling me, it's a lot harder than you think it is, but you just kind of have to keep your head down and keep working, and you'll be fine. I'd probably say be sure that this is what you want to do, and be sure that this is something that you are willing to spend, not just months, but years building. If working late nights is not your thing, if, the hustle is going to be there, self-care is always going to be important. I never, ever, 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 ever believe in running yourself into the ground. Um, if you're going to run a business, you have to know that you will probably make some sacrifices, and that your time is going to be very precious and very limited. And I mean, there's just a lot of other things. So just make sure that you do your research, make sure that this is something that you are willing to commit to for a couple of years. Um, and leverage your local resources so that you're not doing everything by yourself. There's no reason why you should. There's so many free resources out there, and so many organizations like the SBTDC, like SCORE, that will help and guide you through this process. So yeah, do your research and leverage local resources to help you get there. So if anyone is interested in learning more about Launchmark, finding out more about who we are, you can check out our website, www.thelaunchmark.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. We have an Instagram handle. It's at @the_Launchmark. And then we also have a Facebook page, The Launchmark. We are going we are going through a rebrand. Long story short, we're going to be changing the name soon. And so Launchmark will, over the next month and a half or so, we are going to be going through a name change and a couple of branding changes. So you're going to be hearing a lot about that on our social media page. We're still trying to I'm going through the process of filing for the name, and so we need to wait if it's approved or not. So I'm not going to share it just yet because I'm not sure if we're going to get it approved. But once we do get it approved, we will be sharing it on Instagram, Facebook. We're going to be rebranding all of our things so people will know that we're under a new brand, and we're stronger, and it's just going to be a really cool transition. So yeah, I mean, you can also follow me on my own personal. I constantly talk about Launchmark, Ruka Ashoba. And, if you know of any businesses that you want to check this out or want to test their products, or anybody who's really into, local products and discovering local products, have them follow us and reach out to me, and we'll get you on our wait list.